I couldn't expect this also 2 years ago. So I'm just living the moment a bit, and I will see where it ends
If
up.
there's other juggle hits, yeah, he can just run the 1-line. That's insane.
Yeah.
So now he just clears off the shredder.
My day so far has been pretty fantastic. I mean, we had one game to play today and it turned out to be a 3-0 victory, so couldn't be happier.
Okay, he's just going to go for light bomb. What's going to come out of Sneeds?
Oh!
Oh my
God!
That's
And Powder, look at that!
Of course, it's like the fame, the money, the Hearthstone World Championship points. I mean, I want to win. I'm not
Kept it, so
Yeah, you can't not,
And
right?
there's a coin. There's your opponent can play the coin until you want, even if you would like to. Did you see Moody's face?
I went 3-1, almost 3-0 with my priest, which I just created the day before.
Oh my goodness!
It's amazing that I won.
Oh man, so Janadrid finds lethal here and goes to the top 8.
There's a fist bump with the chain.
I made some mistakes, like I know about them, but it wasn't like some shredder crazy shenanigans and stuff like that.
You and Quinn are playing the same patron list for this tournament.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing it as well, so.
Side of match. What is it?
Oh,
Wait.
wait.
It's actually
That's
enough. That's enough.
Oh my god,
Oh, he just died.
Oh,
He just died.
Yeah.
He doesn't see it.
wait, he's not. Oh.
No, he doesn't see it.
Oh my god.
Arnie got it.
Wow.
Oh my god, he actually got it from this position. Hello everybody and welcome to PGL Tavern Tales Spring Season. My name is Nimsh and I'm here with Lothar and Raven to bring you the third day of the tournament. We've seen some highlights, we've seen a lot of excitement, but we are here now for the third last day.
Yeah, we actually saw a lot of crazy games yesterday from top 16 to for the guys that are qualifying through top 8. So really good experience actually. It's definitely a long day, but full of great games. Even the very last match of yesterday was crazy.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of shenanigans, as you said. But for me, what was weird is that the outcome of the games that we have seen, like the highlights from yesterday, like almost all of them could have been different if the defending player, like the losing player, could have would make one little choice differently, right? There was like killing the 1/1 against the Shaman when he was playing the Paladin with the Tyrion, playing the Reno Jackson. Maybe the whole match would have been ending differently if that play would have been made.
Absolutely. But let's first talk about how we got here, because we had 32 players to start the tournament. They started with the qualifiers. And then we had the Swiss part that we had 2 days ago. It feels like eternity ago, actually.
Yeah, it was a really good stage actually, and seeing Thijs was the guy who made it through. But again, just to reiterate, these guys all came through the qualifiers. So 428 mans online with a lot of pretty stacked tournaments as far as I was concerned, with a lot of the best players in the world actually trying to qualify for this one.
Absolutely. And then we had the Swiss part. Lothar, did you enjoy the Swiss part?
I think Swiss is always great. It always brings more legitimacy. Oh God, please help me.
Legitimacy.
Thank you.
There you go.
to a tournament when you can say, yeah, I want for a Swiss round, a Swiss portion of the tournament, because everyone is like, oh, okay, that means you actually good at the game. It's not
it almost like demands
elimination.
respect from anyone
Yeah.
who knows what they're talking about in terms of tournament format.
And then your player actually
Exactly.
went undefeated.
Yeah, and I'm happy about that. And we'll see actually Thijs playing in the first match today. But for me, it's important to have more Swiss tournaments in general. So I'm really happy to be casting this PGL event, and I hope like PGL will be doing more of them, because it's actually cool to see and have those Swiss portions. Maybe what I would like to see in the future is the fact that a smaller cut would have been made from the Swiss itself, because it seems like half of the portion from the Swiss. And that's kind of like, a lot of space for errors.
Yeah, but it did cut actually perfectly. It's all the people who went 3-2 in the Swiss portion went through, and all the people who went to 2-3 and below actually got eliminated in the early stages. And it also made a difference, because if you make top 16, you were guaranteed $500 at least.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And also bear in mind as well that even though I completely understand what you're saying in terms of half of the Swiss getting cut into the top bracket, it sort of is deemed maybe a little bit easier than some other Swiss tournaments, but then they're in a 16-man single elimination bracket, so that's when it really starts to ramp up in difficulty. If you drop a set, you're out.
Absolutely. And we had a lot of players eliminated as well, like Gara eliminated in the early stages of the tournament. But this was the bracket for yesterday, and we've seen 8 matches at least. We've seen actually more, taking into consideration the show matches that we had as well.
Oh yeah, that was exciting. Like 2 decks with 0 attack minions. Yep.
There were a couple of attack minions.
There was the Eerie Statue and Ancient Watchers.
Ancient Watchers, yeah. They could attack. And there was actually a huge misplay by Fishu that he didn't Shadow Flame Lord Walker show. It's not something you do every day.
Yep. It's definitely not something you've probably ever done in the game. I know I've never done it.
Ever will think even about it, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
All right, but let's talk about yesterday. We've seen some highlights. Lothar, you've mentioned that there were a lot of plays where people could just do one more thing and they will actually not lose the game.
I just like to point that out to the people that are watching the tournaments, because usually they tend to say it's all RNG and stuff, and I want to prove them differently. Because Hearthstone is one of the hardest games to play perfectly, and you can see those small differences in the decision making from the players, right? Like an example, Athenas yesterday could have easily equalized the series to be 2-2 and maybe win the 3rd game, but solely on his mistake from when he didn't play the Renan Jackson, he gave the chance away, right? The same goes for Vince. He could have won one game, could have been 1-2 instead of a 3-0, and that would make a huge difference too, right? He would have eliminated the Face Shaman, and then maybe his Secret Paladin could have made a comeback. Right?
Especially in Last Hero Standing as well, where we've seen it a lot in this tournament, where this format is a little bit different from Conquest in the fact that you can actually just sweep. If your lineup is super strong, then your opponent's decks, after you maybe get one of the awkward ones out of the way, can maybe have like really hard matchups against the rest of your decks. So the lineup's actually really impactful in this. And we saw that come through yesterday with a few 3-0s there.
Absolutely. And for today, we have at least 7 matches. We have Thijs versus Powder coming up first, then Moody versus Unid, Janidrid versus Scruffy, Tracky Style versus Arne, and then the semifinals and the grand final. And there is also a big difference in money and HCT points. At the moment, all those guys in the top 8, they have guaranteed $1,000 at least, and they have 2 HCT points. But you can see on the screen how it's how it changes.
Yep. So we have 2.5k and 5 HTC points for the 3rd and then 4th place, right? So every single player that we'll be seeing right now in the first 4 games will be battling for that. If he wins, he gets the bonus $1,500 and 3 points, and then he has a chance to even double that and be in the finals, get the praise, and get the prize.
Absolutely. I'm super happy to see that that the top 2 players, like we talked about the winner getting 15 points, but the second place is getting 10 points as well, which means that he's also qualified for the prelim.
Most likely.
Yeah. Unless something crazy, because this season is actually going to be over 3 months, I believe.
3 months.
So there is a longer time, so the points won't be as low as they were in the winter season. But with 10 points, additionals, these players are pretty good. They're probably earning their HCT points as well on top of this, so they're not going to only be on 10. So it's a huge boost and almost guarantees them through.
All right, and Thijs versus Powder coming up next. This is the match we're going to see. What are your predictions, guys?
Well, I'm biased.
I wonder what Lothar will say.
Yeah, but I'm backing Thijs. His consistency is ridiculous. Like, that's the reason why he is here, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying that Powder isn't consistent because we are seeing him in a lot of tournaments as well. I'm kind of sad that they're meeting right now, though, because
Yeah,
it seems like the upper bracket of the round of 8 is kind of more stacked with the more known names than the lower bracket, right?
Yeah, and let's be honest, Powder versus Thijs could easily be the finals.
Yeah.
You know, like, it just wouldn't be a surprise to anyone. But definitely, a great way to kick off the day. It's a tough one. I think both guys are really good. I think Powder's in a really good mindset, though. So I think he might have the ability to change it. And even before we saw the guys were talking about, what sort of did you change the decks much, or did you mess
we didn't
about?
talk about that.
Yeah, so the guys can change the decks from yesterday to today, but when they've changed them, it's not that they can change them every round. It's that they can change them once for the start of the day, and that's it for the whole tournament. So unlike yesterday, you can't actually fully prepare just for one player.
You have to prepare
you
for a
can
whole
if you want to
bracket.
try and increase your chances at top 4, but then it will potentially decrease your chances to actually finish up the tournament and win it. So it's going to be interesting to see how each player's approach this. And how they've chose to prepare. But yeah, I like Powder here. Thijs is super consistent, and in this tournament as well, he's performed incredible, being the player to 5-0 in the Swiss. So I just think it's going to be a great game overall, actually.
Absolutely. From my perspective, I was talking to both Thijs and Powder a bit, and it seems like Thijs wants to stay to his guns, and he can't really change the decks that much, where Powder can play anything and can always change the decks as he wishes to. But we actually sat down and talked with those players before, so let's see what they have to say for themselves.
We had one game to play today and it turned out to be a 3-0 victory, so couldn't be happier.
I played my match against Like a Boss. It was I didn't know much about him. I actually didn't know what he played the day before, but I decided to not change too much about my lineup because I was really comfortable. It was also pretty late and I just wanted to go with the same strategy. Made a bit small tech choices still because I didn't want to play exactly the same decks. And yeah, I won 3-1. I first won a game with my Patron Warrior and afterwards 2 with the Zoo. Yeah, pretty happy about that.
When it's my turn, I normally you always have some sort of idea in mind what you're gonna do you're sitting there staring at the screen while your opponent is thinking, so obviously something's going on in your mind beforehand, but you take a second look at what cards you have in your hand. And then after you've kind of made a decision, or when I've made a decision, I think about what my opponent's going to do next turn. And if that doesn't change what I was thinking of doing, I'd pretty quickly play what I decided.
If I will go to the final, then there are still really good players at the bottom bracket. I know Crane is there, Freak is there, players I respect, but also a bit more unknown players. Also some Arne from Belgium. I would like to face him too. I actually don't really have somebody specific, but I just hope it will be a really good final.
Thijs versus Powder, where I had both of them on the couch at some point, and they were doing some smack talk. So Powder said, "Come at me, bro," and Thijs just looked at the ground. It's like, "I'm just going to play my best."
Thijs like the ultimate nice guy, though.
Yeah,
to be fair,
he's
isn't
a
he?
polite guy.
Yeah. It's not often I've seen Thijs even look unhappy. Never mind anything else. So.
I just
not
always
too much of a surprise.
just always come back to the moment in Sweden when Thijs was facing, I think, Colento for the qualification to the first BlizzCon, and somebody asked Thijs to be aggressive with the smack talk and everything, and Thijs just looked at Colento and said, I'm going to win.
Yeah, the banter is real.
Yeah, about as much as aggression as Thijs could muster. No, I like Thijs. I like the fact he's always super nice.
Well,
and happy.
there are players that can banter and feel natural in it, and you feel like, yeah, he's doing that because...
Like Powder, when he was like, he came across half joking when he was like, I'm going to wreck you tomorrow, and it's like, he's actually thinking that.
Yeah, and there are players who just are nice, they just want to focus on the game, and That's about it. And if they do banter, then it feels forced, and that's not something that you would like to see.
Absolutely. But then again, like when you sit in front of Thijs, like Powder right now, you do see that giant in front of you because you know this guy is the European champion. He won DreamHack Bucharest. He was in the finals of DreamHack Winter, and he won a multitude of other tournaments as well, cups, whatever. Like he qualified when he wasn't invited. So
yeah, and that's shown even on the actual predictions there. So we saw Twitch was on like I think 86% for Thijs, high percentage for Twitter as well, 71 from Gosu Gamers. So
well, you can't really think about Gosu Gamers having a different percentage because Thijs is the first in the rankings, right?
Yeah.
He is
in the world.
Yeah, he's capping at 1,400 points over even that. So the next player that has the second place has around 1,280 something like that. That's a huge difference.
absolutely. But then on the other hand, Powder himself were in many finals before. He failed to grab the win, but he made it to at least 7 finals of big tournaments, and he's also qualified through the portion. Like he got famous because he was qualifying to tournaments like Gfinity and Vigame House Cup, just going through lots of people and being one of the kings of ladder himself.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for Powder as well because he's feeling really good. He's like, every time I spoke to him this weekend, he's like, yeah, I'm really happy. Obviously, he's winning, so that's a bonus, but he's really like happy and pumped for it and ready, even though he looks like he's about to fall asleep right now. I don't know if he went out last night or anything, but he's definitely up for this and really happy to actually play Thijs.
Well, most of the gamers are not a early bird, right? So
That's true. It's not the natural time for these guys to be awake.
yeah, it's actually noon local time here. But when you count in the jet lag, right, it's 1 hour before for them.
Yeah, that's super heavy jet lag.
Yeah, super heavy jet lag. I'm sure that some CS:GO teams from NA would have made that excuse.
Yeah.
Well, but Raven, as you mentioned, like gamers, we do meet each other on those events. Like there is a whole community here. So all the people, 32 players. So there's a lot of players you want to spend time with, which normally don't meet because they live in different cities, different countries. And this is an opportunity not only to play Hearthstone, but also to hang out.
Yeah, it's a big part of the draw of events like this. I think that there's very few players I've met who are like, yeah, I don't really like meeting other people. Like, you know, other players at events. Like, it's a really big draw in it.
There are some.
Yeah, I said very few. I didn't say there were none. But even like, and the way the studio's set up, the players are actually hanging out in the studio with us here, and they have been doing for the past couple of days. So that's really cool to see. But the first game has started, and it's going to be Powder's Secret Paladin versus Thijs' Zoo.
And the lineups are the same. They both run Paladins, Warlock, and Warrior. We do not know if they're exactly the same archetypes, but at least classes are the same.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's quite surprising. Powder kept the Noble Sacrifice, while Zoo is known for playing like heavy Death Rattle minions, and even the Voidwalker is like the perfect counter for the Noble Sacrifice, right? That kind of caught me off guard, because I was thinking that he will be rather looking for Minibot, which is like super effective as the Noble Sacrifice, even better than the Noble Sacrifice.
I think
right?
the only reason really I could think to keep it was to just slow the game down enough, and then also counter. Although the Voidwalker is really good, to counter cards like Flame Imp and Knife Juggler potentially.
Even Dark Peddler being played with the coin, sometimes it happens.
Ooh, Sea Giant early in the hand. It kind of changes stuff if he will draw into an implosion and your opponent has Masterful Battle, right? Because then you like fill the board with just 2 cards. It's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, and this is one of the matchups where the Sea Giant does the work, right? And this is why this deck even exists to a certain extent, because Zoo is really common, which obviously wants to build up the board and makes your Sea Giants easier. Secret Paladin the same. They're all about the board. So yeah, this is going to be interesting, especially with double muster as well. Like,
Absolutely.
that could really start to get a bit crazy later on.
Yeah,
But
he needs the mini board right now. Ooh.
Yeah, and he missed the draw. But to put things into perspective, like I believe this matchup is actually favoring Zoo a bit, and especially with that opening, Flame Imp into Voidwalker is exactly what you want, like in almost any matchup.
That's fun, because that opening is like one of the most intimidating openers from the beginning of the game, like from the beta, right?
Yeah.
Voidwalker into Flame Imp is like, oh my god,
It's game. Like concede.
Warrior's like, where's my Fairy War Axe?
Yeah.
Even if I have it, it's not really.
Still going to soak so much
Yeah.
damage. Yeah.
And if you think that Flame Imp got actually nerfed, it's so intimidating.
Yeah, it dealt 2 damage in the
Yeah.
beginning of the game.
It's kind of funny because like the Warlock to a certain extent doesn't care about his health unless he's on one. Like he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be really aggressive and life tap a lot.
Well, it makes a huge difference against a hunter because it's like one hero power for free for the hunter, right?
Yeah.
If you play 2.
So close. Let's see Giant.
Oh, wow. That's a good top deck.
Yeah, I think Thijs is really on the better end of the opening draw here. Obviously, you know, we discussed the initial turn 1 opening, which was really strong. But even the egg, because he has abusive that you can use later on, and then now, you know, Gang Boss is going to be insane. Even regardless of the fact that the Sea Giant's in hand, imagine that wasn't even there.
Yeah.
The Gang Boss is still insane versus Paladin.
But look at that. The Sea Giant can be played next turn.
And
Most likely.
it can be played, yeah. And we talked to Thijs about it. If he said that if Sea Giant is 4/4 mana, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, right? It's 8 minion for 4 mana.
Yeah, but like if it's for 5, it gets a bit awkward maybe. And
Yes.
if you can play it even cheaper, it's obviously better.
I think it's even better as well because it's on curve, right? Which is a little bit crazy. You don't expect it. Like late in the game when you can do like
It would be
implosion
for
to Sea
3
Giant.
mana even. Look at that. You can play Abusive Sergeant, pop the egg, and get it. Actually, it will be for 2 mana, right? If you attack first with the imp. No, wait. That doesn't change a thing.
Yeah, because the Gang Boss
Yeah,
dies, right?
Because the 1/1 dies. If you attack it into 1/1, that's what I was saying.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so this is an interesting one though because like if you pop the egg, you pop it on the shredder, so then
You have to attack with the imp.
which just feels
Can you still silence? No, you'll not be able to play it for because
you need to play the giant this turn.
so if you abusive giant is for 3 mana, you have 3 mana. If you attack with Imp Gang Boss into Shredder, you generate 1 more minion, so it's for 2 mana. And if you play an Iron Begal, no, actually you have to silence first.
I
okay.
actually don't mind not popping the egg here. You just trade in with a 1/1 maybe with the Imp Gang Boss, generate another token because if you pop the egg, you just throw the Gang Boss away, and the whole point of it is it generates the tokens to then challenge the Paladin's minions. So I prefer this. Like you don't always have to squeeze in the extra minions to like make the Sea Giant cheaper.
I see what you're saying.
Alright, Coghammer can help maybe with the giant, but there's a lot of other minions to deal with first. If he goes into Imp Gang Boss, then kills both imps. Coghammer attack with the Divine Shield into the giant. He has a 4/3 taunt, 2/3 attack, and he can follow up with.
He
Hunter
could do
Creeper, I
this
guess.
play, trade the 2 1/1s in, then Cockhammer. Yep. Or yeah, use the weapon. Meh. Kill the 1/1s. See whatever you want to do, guys.
Now you play around the second Sea Giant. So you want to have less minions.
Sure. Okay, so
he's not going for the Cockhammer.
yeah, I guess he's just taking the damage hit. Because the problem was, like, the reason I sort of naturally went to trade the 2 1/1s in, so you get the Coghammer on the Shredder. So you force, like, the awkward attacks in, and the Shredder pretty much kills whatever attacks it, other than the Sea Giant.
I'm kind of surprised by this, but it's get heavy punished by the silence, and we see that Thijs has a silence, so maybe that was the thought process for Powder, just to play around the silence.
Well, also the
Is he
secret.
juking a second Noble Sacrifice? as well?
Wow, 8 damage to the face.
Yeah, that's huge. Especially because he has the burst in hand, Doomguard, and
Double
abusives.
abusive.
But now Thijs has to think, okay, if this is competitive spirit, how does this change my line of play this turn? If it's Avenge, how does this change my line of play? And it's not an easy turn at all.
You might actually want to keep your silence if Avenge lands. He goes for the Shredder kill here. That's fine as well.
Yeah, I think this is good because if it is Avenge, well, Avenge is going on a smaller minion, right? So and then the Shredder's dealt with. You just forget about it now.
Yeah, still no way to kill the giant then. And you have a 4/4 and double 2/1s.
Basically,
dealt with.
Oh,
you
nice.
dealt with the Death Rattle, which is basically almost. It potentially can be. It can be worse than the Avenge. So maybe it was worth to pop it first and then silence the Avenge.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I think getting rid of the 4/1 Shredder. And,
Yeah, because you guarantee like the minion off the board, right?
yeah, and now that was a huge swing turn for Powder because not only he developed a lot of minions on board, he also stopped the
The
giant
giant
here.
from attacking for 1 turn. Right?
Yeah, and this could go slight swing the other way really hard now, because next turn he can cog hammer and play maybe whatever else he draws to slow him down even more, because Zoo doesn't really have any burn from hand.
Yeah.
It's all minion based damage, so like the cog hammer is then going to be really awkward to deal with, because he still has these 1/1s to like trade into the 2/1. So he can stop one attack from one of these 2 big minions here, like the Doom Guard or the Sea Giant. It looks like Thijs just going to go face here.
Yep.
Yeah.
To 4,
I
yeah.
really like that, being the aggressor and making your opponent do the trading instead of you, right? And it set up also a lot of potential ways of winning next turn.
Like a Dark Peddler Soulfire, for example.
Yeah.
Also, like even if the board gets cleared, you have your opponent on 4, so you still have a chance to get that.
This is crazy though, because I'm pretty sure that Powder can trade in a way that he almost guarantees the cog hammer on the 9/8. And then he's already seen an owl, and if he survives just 1 more turn, then he drops Tyrion. It's going to be very difficult for Thijs to get through the kind of wall. Well, other than a peddler like Soulfire or second owl.
I'm sure that will happen next turn.
Yeah. You confident?
Yeah.
The top
We've
deck
seen that
peddler
before.
into Soulfire.
Well, he can tap, right? If Powder spends his turn actually killing the minions, Thijs will still have a healthy pool of health.
So this turn needs to be cog hammer, right?
Wait, is
Yeah,
this
but you
lethal,
just
by the way?
trade. Well,
He's
Tango.
1 damage off, right?
Yeah, I think you just clear the board, right? And leave the 10/9 taunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you use the Divine Shield on the 10/9 to kill the 8/8. Then that becomes very, very difficult for Thijs to punch through when you follow up his Tyrion.
You can even go for Master for Battle, I think. Like you could have probably played Master for Battle first.
Yeah, that was a slight misplay.
No, because the Divine Shield.
You need
The Divine
the
Shield.
Divine Shield.
Oh
on
yeah,
top
yeah,
of
you're
the
right, you're right.
minion.
Yeah, this is right, yeah. I think you do trade, because the moment you don't, there's randomly a second owl appears, and then you just die. I just think it's just worth trading.
It's unlikely that people play the second owl, but is there anything else that can actually deal with this? Like a random big game hunter, maybe?
Definitely not Knife Juggler.
Well, you need the tab. Ooh.
Doesn't change anything, so this this will be it.
Well, that mysterious challenge on turn 6
Did some work.
Yeah, it's like win card in this situation. Powder was in a really bad position, but you can see the power of Mysterious Challenger that single-handedly changed the whole game.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
I think we've seen that before when Arne was playing Athanas. It seemed like Arne is really behind with his Paladin, and then he had this one swing turn when everything just swapped. And Athanas, even though he was in the lead, he pulled a lot of damage. He's the great opening. On the back of Mysterious Challenger and Secrets working in the correct order, he was able to just take the board. And this was the same. It was not only Mysterious Challenger, it was the fact that the Sea Giant could have been blocked by Noble Sacrifice, which forced the Doom Guard.
Yeah, I mean, that was the key point. The Sea Giant not being able to get the attack off. Because imagine if before that there was an implosion, a creeper down for Thijs, so then, the odds on him having like the tokens or something to just attack him with, and then the Sea Giant hits for 8, and as we could see, he ended the game on 4. So, that would have just been game there and then. So that Noble Sacrifice blocking a single Sea Giant just won that game.
And Cog Hammer actually as well, right? Because Cog Hammer enabled an easy kill or just going for face. He didn't have to spend his Mysterious Challenger being 10 attack to just trade into the Giant for free.
I don't think it was even about the Divine Shield. It was just about having the taunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that...
I suppose the only difference is, though, that even if it was... even though it got buffed from the Cog Hammer, he could have traded in the Sea Giant because he had Tyrion to follow up with. So although it wouldn't have guaranteed the win, of course, because crazy things can happen, but even the follow-up with Tyrion. And this is just huge, this bit where he just clears the board, has the exact minions he needs, especially with the combination of competitive spirit straight into Cog Hammer, and feels pretty good for Powder, I think, at this moment.
I like the decision by Thijs that he decided to go for face instead of trading in the Mysterious Challenger, because he knows that the long game actually favors Paladin in that spot, where there can be a second Mysterious Challenger, there can be Tyrion, that will block him, and he will just have to life tap and get lower and lower, and it will be tougher for him. Where a second Owl maybe, I don't know if he plays double Owl, but that Dark Peddler
I'm
so
sure
far.
he doesn't. But double peddlers into some crazy stuff can happen, right? You can get a boar, and you can then charge with PO, an example, instead of a sulfur, if you somehow go through the taunt, right? Because maybe there's a way that you will damage the Divine Shield for one, with a Knife Juggler, an example, and then you just kill the Taunter, and then you have an option to get the Dark Peddler and have few outs possible from the Discovery. So I like what Powder also did, was just ignore the Giant, just go to the face, win the next turn.
Knowing exactly what are the outs. Like even I was curious, Implosion with Knife Juggler could also deal a lot of damage to face if it's...
Yeah, and drawing Implosion in general would have changed that matchup quite a lot, I think. So a little bit of a rough one for Thijs. Powder played it well. And now the next match is going to be Paladin Mirror.
Yeah, Paladin Mirror.
It's kind of sad to see that you have to deliberately pick Paladin into a Paladin to ensure that you have the best matchup. So...
Well, Zoo was a good matchup. It was obviously like close to 50-50, but...
Thijs is running Warrior, though.
That might be a Contra Warrior then.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
If that would be Patron, you probably pick Patron into a Paladin. But if this is Contra Warrior, you don't want to play versus Secret.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. We'll see how it turns out as we see Powder's opening. Starts with a Secret again, although he did not keep this one. But if there's a combo you want, it's definitely the redemption into these two minions, or one of them either way.
Ooh.
There is a Secret Keeper for Thijs?
Yes, that's for Thijs. Powder has the Redemption, Knife Juggler, and Minibot.
Yeah, both of them have actually a nice opening here.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out whether the Redemption on one of these 2-drops beats the Secret Keeper, but I think with the Noble Sacrifice we'll soak up the attack first from what the 2-drop from Powder. Then because Noble Sacrifice is the secret that's played, he could be ahead here.
Okay, so Secret Keeper, and you do not play Noble Sacrifice this turn.
No, you don't.
You need a coin for Shredder, I guess.
Oh, maybe you should have.
Captain Hindsight.
Misplay.
No, probably not.
It was correct. Okay, this is... Oh my god, this is super back and forth.
Yeah, well,
nothing's happened yet, but we're judging so many turns ahead. So
Knife Juggler into Noble Sacrifice sounds like a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Why not Haunted Creeper into Noble Sacrifice? You do have Knife Juggler in the next turn. So.
Yeah, that's also another option.
Because you don't gain anything from the juggle from Noble Sacrifice, right? If there was a 1-health minion on the board with Noble Sacrifice, you can potentially juggle it down, so then you keep the 2-1. But because there's not, you don't actually gain too much.
But there will be Masterful Battle next turn drawn, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Having Knife Juggler ready on the board changes a lot.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Okay, Lothar.
So just Haunted Creeper to prepare for a possible Knife Juggler on your side, where you just...
So the real question is, do you attack with this Juggler if you're Powder?
Probably not.
Really? You think, it's a tough one. Do you think you can afford not to?
Well, Powder was the one who kept Noble Sacrifice against Zoo. So if there is a secret, he should expect something like Noble Sacrifice.
It might be Redemption as well, right? He knows it's not a competitive spirit. That's what he knows. So he's playing around... What was he playing around?
He's not playing around anything. He basically just is playing around Knife Juggler, attacking into Hunter Creeper.
Yeah, well, that kind of sucked. Yeah, Powder is visibly upset.
Yeah, I think the idea is if it's Avenge...
Then it lands on the 2-3, right?
Yeah, and then he can potentially juggle the 1-1s with the 2 minions.
Yeah.
Which is like I said, it's very difficult in this position when you're losing on board to not attack with the juggler because it's so powerful, right? So to just pass that turn, then it's going to be rough.
Oh my god, that Undertaker is just...
Well, yeah, the Secret Keeper lady is like, this is my time to shine.
It's Under Lady.
It's like,
no, that sounds bad.
I was so prepped for a joke then, but you did it yourself.
It's a Chillwind Yeti.
Okay. I mean...
It is a Chillwind Yeti if he plays the secrets.
I don't think he will play both of them.
Yeah, I was working out whether it's...
Knife Juggler and one of the secrets, probably the second Noble Sacrifice, because it can then trade 1-for-1 for the mini-bot with a 50-50% chance.
The only thing with Noble Sacrifice is you're potentially afraid of muster, although he didn't muster last turn, right? So maybe you're feeling a little bit, you're feeling a little bit safer.
Had to be mustered last turn if they didn't have it.
Oh, and now...
sorry, if he had it.
Yeah, if he had it. Now Thijs is scratching the old head thinking, do I do what Powder just did there and get the worst end of the stick in front of an attack?
You can't really lose 4 tag. You need to check for it.
Yeah.
Well, he knows this is not Noble Sacrifice, right? Because this is a secret that was there before. So.
Oh yeah, right. Second Noble Sacrifice and the 50-50. Oh.
Well, it
Well,
didn't
it's
work.
still not horrible. But
Yeah, it's
imagine that it actually hit. That was
Yeah.
such a huge swing.
Powder in trouble, but actually on turn 5 he will be able to play one of the big 5 drops, and then he has Mystery's Challenger of his own. And for now, Thijs is having a really nice board overall.
So there's a lot of options right now, because you can think about, do I buff my own Secret Keeper by playing Avenge this turn and just go for the another Hunted Creeper, right?
I really like this trade though, like because this is pushing him towards using the secret as opposed to dropping the shredder. So he will just want to creep a secret now, and killing this off. Even redemption isn't so bad. He has to trade into it again, which is fine, but he keeps his secret keeper, and now I would be very surprised if this isn't creeper into avenge now, just to bank on what he's got.
Oh, what about
I'm
Shredder?
surprised that he didn't pop the Hunted Creeper, because that was looking like a good situation to get just the juggles out.
It's playing around redemption a bit, not popping the creeper here, and the knives will be a bit random. So
Yeah, he
at the
could have
moment,
popped it second though,
yeah,
right into the minibot and get juggles.
yeah, he
Yeah,
could,
yeah,
he could
yeah,
have
yeah,
attacked
yeah,
into the
yeah.
mini bot, but he decided that he wants to have it unpopped for now.
Oh, this is interesting. It's sort of like,
Oh man, so the knife juggler says goodbye.
what's that even worth though? Potentially juggling to a one, I suppose it's Guardian's juggler. I don't know, I think I would have just preferred the Avenge, because imagine the situation is in now. You don't have a 1-1, but something else has plus.
But you could have played both. You check first for the juggles and you see the outcomes, and you wage what is better after that, right? If
Yeah.
it's better to avenge or not.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
it's a
here.
tough one. But he's going to continue to. He's used the Avenge now, and we're probably going to see the Shredder go down. So this is the moment, though. Even the minibot's a great card, but now Powder's starting to ramp into his big stuff, and Thijs isn't even close to it yet, as he doesn't have the Challenger, the Doctor Boom, or the Tyrion. Whereas Powder has Lothar, the Challenger, and Tyrion himself.
Yeah,
so.
it's that Thijs didn't even deal that much damage to Powder, even though he has advantage from the very beginning of the game. Now Mystery's Challenger bringing all the secrets will be hard to deal with.
Yeah, he does have the 1-1s, right, though, so it's very easy for him to proc the secrets. Okay.
Well, the noble sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, of course, yeah, he's used to.
Yeah, but still, this changes a lot.
God.
No. For Thijs, I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
for
yeah.
Thijs.
This is getting so
it's two
confusing with all the
paladins, yeah,
secrets that have been
don't worry,
played.
man.
Yeah, but still, it's a 6/6 and it brings Avenge and Competitive Spirit,
Yeah.
so it's a great card. And you do have minions on board where your opponent doesn't. And then 9/8.
Oh wait, it's repentance too, right? Or is it? Maybe it's an eye for an eye.
Sacred Trial.
Should be Repentance. Suspense, the plot thickens.
Oh my
Too
god.
many secrets.
Please bring eye for an eye.
Someone will.
What's kind of funny
Someone.
now is this is like revenge from Thijs, because it's like, oh, you have a big minion that's going to run into Noble Sacrifice? That's not fun, is it? And that's what happened to me last game, so...
This is actually a dire strait for Powder. Like, what do you even do? You cannot attack, so this is blocking
No,
the attack.
what are you talking about? There's no more noble sacrifices for Thijs.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So he knows that there are none.
Yeah, so you can trade off the 6/6.
But there will be Avenge and Redemption.
Wait, why would you attack into... Okay, that was weird, right?
So he probably thought about Noble
Did
Sacrifice.
you just forget about the Noble Sacrifice?
Yeah, apparently. He didn't count.
But it's one of those things where you should just queue into something else anyway, right?
Yeah.
There's it's one of those things we discussed yesterday, actually, because I
We
think
had the
something
same
similar
situation.
happened
Yes,
yesterday,
yes.
where there's almost no reason to attack into the bigger minion. It actually gains you nothing.
Powder is just shaking his head. He's like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life?
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
that was weird.
he realized he messed up pretty quick
There
there,
were,
hence
there
the
were
concede.
like two big swings that could have been avoided, right? The first attack with the knife juggler
Yep.
into the hunted creeper, because even if it went through, it wasn't really that convincing to do, because there might have been an advantage,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And then well, now he has a Yeti.
So he missed
his
damage.
side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still has two 1/1s. And if I lose the juggles, then I really didn't build up anything on the board, right? So yeah,
It seems like this one Noble Sacrifice cheated him twice. So the fact that it was
yeah,
there
he had
for
like 3 noble sacrifices, right?
yeah. Because this one Noble Sacrifice really changed the game. He didn't play the minions. He didn't get those juggles, even though he could have played 2 minions here.
By the way, how awesome is that we have those replays?
I love
now,
them.
right?
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
them.
it's
Like
sick.
you're talking about the play, and then you can actually see it on the screen
Yeah,
at the same time.
that was actually the other thing. If that would have hit on the Divine Shield and just kill
just
the
killed it
minion,
straight
but
out, yeah,
straight
yeah.
out. That would be such a huge swing. Even when you think about the mana investment, right? It's like 1 mana for 2 mana minion. When you think about it, it's twice the cost, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then like attack into Mystery Challenger. This is something we talked about yesterday, that sometimes people play only one Noble Sacrifice. If the player forgets, he makes this attack because he thinks like, yeah, there's Noble Sacrifice, I will not connect with Mystery Challenger, and then whoops.
Yeah.
Now he has a 6-1.
Yeah, and this is where, like, so this is the play now where the attacking, you know, he still would have been in trouble either way, I think, but the attacking should have gone into the 1-1 because you saw so many secrets active, and there's no gain from killing the 6/6.
You know what?
First. Like, just no gain.
I think he should have attacked into Shredder. This was the Doomsayer boys' time.
Might have been, well, we saw that yesterday, right? Or day 1?
I think that was a game I wasn't casting. I saw that on the update video from what happened, and I wasn't casting that game. But I did see a Doomsayer come out, and someone looked very upset.
Yeah, that was... Who was that? My god, too many games. We had like
Was it the,
32
I think
players.
Arne...
Was it the track style?
Was it Arne?
No.
I think Arne, there was a Paladin, and there was the Doomsayer swing. I'm not sure, but we've seen one Doomsayer that actually mattered a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're 1-1, both winning with Paladin. One Paladin eliminated, one Warlock Zoo eliminated.
Powder looks
So
extremely happy.
I guess that Powder needs to queue up his Warlock right now, right?
If that's a Zoo.
If that's
Yeah.
so it
Well,
we'll have
if
like a...
Well, I'd be surprised. I think he's just sticking to the Reno Demons because it worked so well for him. And it's difficult to say, like, you know, why not? The deck's been performing really well.
But he didn't even play them on day 1. He played Reno without Demons on day 1 with the combo, and then he switched to Demons on day 2.
Yeah. He was telling me yesterday that he really likes the Demon deck. It's the one he's played the most overall.
It's actually Warrior, so it's a patron.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, though, because, you know, if you go with how the matchup should, you know, like on paper work, then the Warriors should beat this deck. Or, like, you know, it's definitely got the slight edge, I would say. But then, like, we're sort of presuming Thijs has Control Warrior because you presume Thijs would lock it in against Secret Paladin from Powder. So then it's like, if Powder wins this game, then it's going to be Control Warrior versus Patron. And we saw that matchup, even though we saw Crane do really well and nearly take that game.
Yeah, it's still a really good
matchup.
matchup
It's
for
really
Control.
rough. It's rough for the Patron Warrior. And then it's how Powder's Warlock might face up versus the Control Warrior. So getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. But definitely interesting to see how the last hero standing affects the deck choices and the lineups.
Talking about Crane, by the way, because I just thought about anything can happen, right? He was playing that card yesterday. This card will not be viable in Standard because we lose Old Murkai.
Yep. Yeah, well, yeah, it won't be as powerful because you still keep all the Murlocs, right?
No, do we lose Old Merkin? No.
Yeah.
Blizzard have confirmed that any collector's cards, so like I guess Tauren Chieftain as well.
No.
ETC, yeah.
ETC, why?
Yeah, all the collection.
Mechatalk too.
Yeah, and more importantly, Captain's Parrot.
Oh yeah, right. No,
so
I really wanted to play that card more.
So they're not going to be in Standard. If anyone didn't know, they know now.
That's a sad day. I think you can still play the deck even without Murkai. Maybe we'll get a new Murloc.
Yeah, there'll be a new charge Murloc. We'll be fine. The new expansion is Murlocs.
Young Murkai. Yeah. So he will gain half an attack
Uncle
of each
Murkai.
Murloc.
Half an attack.
That was actually a thing in World of Warcraft TCG. There were the foam swords that had half an attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something like
Oh, wow.
They got nerfed.
Okay, so we have a pretty good opening for Thijs here. This is pretty nice. You have options, and the Secret Keeper, which, although won't be as crazy in this game as it would be in the mirror, Secret Keeper is definitely a card that needs an answer because it can just snowball if you leave it alone.
Absolutely, but it's still a tough matchup for Paladin. Like, what you really want to achieve is just curve out as well as possible. Just have minions on board before the patrons show up. If the patrons show up, you need to kill them as fast as possible. Then have Mystery Challenger on 6, Dr. Boom 7, Tyrion on 8. If you don't get that, patron will just remove your board consistently. Where you have Mystery Challenger on empty board, it's a simple execute actually with Whirlwind or whatever. So it's really tough. Like, Warrior has a lot of tools to deal with whatever board you put.
To be honest, I don't like the Hunted Creeper this turn. Because if it's played before Deathspite, and you would like ideally to play it after it,
yeah.
right? So you don't lose the 1/1s in this case.
Yeah.
And I think just going for the hero power instead, or maybe just going for the knife juggler. And
Yeah, in all honesty, I think I would have just done juggler and secret keeper. Because you put so many threats on the board in the form of, like, you know, the secret keeper and the juggler. It's difficult for the warrior to remove both.
Well, this is kind of awkward.
I guess you just run the... Yeah, you both this, run it in, and then just sacrifice the secret keeper.
Yeah, secret keeper is not
Looks
needed.
like so.
You have no secrets in hand, right? So that's worth less at the moment than the mini
Absolutely.
bot. So
And
you
that's
just
a
keep
good
up with
board.
that.
That's a good board for now. And now Death Spite seems
Now
really
that
nice.
Spite's going to do some work.
Kill the 3/4, I guess.
Then you can attack into the Hunted Creeper next turn, so it does die, and you kill the 1/1s popping out from it. So what Thijs needs is a Coghammer. Nope. Well,
So maybe you can go with the juggler and make it a different target.
Yeah, you just sacrifice the juggler, because then the creeper tokens stay alive, right?
yeah, I like that.
So just juggler into shield the mini bot.
This is really interesting. Why does Thijs hate knife juggler?
He waits for the Master Battle.
Yeah, that's extra damage as well.
It's
And
like
The problem is if
the biggest burst from the paladin almost possible.
True. It's just interesting because, like, you know, juggler is notoriously bad versus patrons, right? So it's just interesting. You don't want to get it out quickly, cash in that damage early, and then go from there.
Yeah, it's just
so
2/3/2 minions, still good, right? You don't have to rely on his
yeah.
power.
Actually, attacking into that Hunter Creeper will not kill the small spiders.
Okay, that was weird.
So you're getting 4 spiders there, but you can play Unstable Ghoul. So in theory, like Paladin normally cannot buff minions that well. We've seen one Keeper of Uldaman already.
I don't mind this play actually because without a Blessing of Kings, there's only the 2/2 minibot that survives, and you also guarantee a card draw, another card draw from the Acolyte. So you guaranteed 3 cards almost certainly. And then the Acolyte still actually kills the 2/1 minibot afterwards if it doesn't trade.
Yeah,
so
you're right,
this
you're
is
right.
actually really nice. Like it doesn't look good because you've just built the board up and not killed it, but the Ghoul actually does a hell of a lot of work. Oh, we're gonna see Juggler. Is he gonna hit the Juggler though? Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, he needs to raise, unfortunately for him.
I don't know.
Yeah, you need to raise.
Yeah.
I think you need to raise. The Tyrion though will be a huge difference, but he needs.
I was just worried about
Dr.
potentially the Acolyte going into Juggler than Whirlwind.
Then you have Avenge still.
But yeah. No, you won't. You won't.
Oh, you're right, because everything will die at the same time.
Just if you trade it off, like your Juggler's harder to kill, and there's still a minion to get Avenge from, right?
But you can't really play around like every single secret, right? With the situation. Because
No, I wasn't even on about playing around the Secret. I was just on about playing around Whirlwind. Because the Acolyte can do the 1 damage to
maybe
the
that's the
Juggler
mind
and
games
then-
that Thijs did. Like, I'm aware that I will lose the board to the Whirlwind, so I'll play around it by playing something different than Avenge in this situation. So it
Yeah,
probably might be Redemption or Noble Sacrifice, right?
Yeah. Well, Deathspite can deal with Knife Juggler here to limit the damage from possible Master for Battle. Oh, is he going for 4/3 to protect his Armor Smith? That's also nice.
that's way better.
And also the Juggles again on the Armor Smith can make it awkward. So, this is actually huge though. So I think this is going to be really difficult for Thijs to end this game.
Well, he might have Ashbringer.
Yeah, the Ashbringer will be a huge swing.
Yeah, I just think because he can get Dr. Boom down first and he has Executes, then Tyrion just isn't a thing. Then he has Ghoul, which will probably soak up an Ashbringer hit if he can clear the board with like the Boom Bots and the Armor Smith later. So I you know, don't get me wrong, like Powder's on 6 health, so he's not like safe. But I think this could get difficult because of Dr. Boom coming down now.
Yeah, but then you need to kill everything. So
You can attack phase.
Attack phase, kill everything, play Dr. Boom, and you're at 6. So you are not afraid of dying. And then you can deal with most of the things. And you actually, for Ashbringer, you have 1 unstable Ghoul at least. So it's
and the Owl was used, so probably will be out of range from the Ashbringer. Well,
because the thing is, he even has like Inner Rage Execute if he wants to save the Boom Bots or something. You know, like, so he definitely has options. And after that, he has Battle Rage if he can stay alive to maybe cycle into something else.
he goes for the low tip instead. So why low tip? You play around.
Battle Rage probably right now,
Yeah.
just to draw 3 cards.
Is it so important? Because for 1 mana you can't really do anything.
It's like just for the future turn.
Like, is he playing Dread Corsairs maybe? You know, just to like maybe get some taunts.
But you can't play the Dread Cursor right now.
Yeah, for next turn. I don't know actually. It's a tough. I feel like Dr.
they
Boom.
didn't play the Dr. Boom.
Yeah, it feels so powerful.
Yeah, because now you don't have a like from the board at least you don't have an easy way to deal with the Tyrion, and the Bombots would have been a huge swing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the thing is that you can deal with the Tyrion overall from your hand.
Yeah, but for Thijs, it seems like it would have been no-brainer to play the Tyrion, but it would have been way worse to play a Tyrion into a Dr. Boom with like no interaction at all.
But if there is no Tyrion, if there is like what spells can there be overall that you block with Lothar? Are there any specific spells?
Well, you just cleared the board, so Blessing of Kings
yeah,
is
there's
not a
nothing.
problem.
Yeah.
You just play around secrets and
Divine Favor possibly, but and some paladins they play one off.
even if it's a Divine Favor, you play 8 mana card to draw 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. I would play that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's especially when you're on so much health.
yeah.
You're on 25 still, so that feels pretty safe. The Inner Rage is going to come down to properly execute and leave the Lothar intact.
But now
for
he can't play Dr. Boom again.
Yeah.
He needs to play the Ghoul.
He actually can. Because
Well, he can, but
But you can't. Because what if something unexpected will
Juggler.
happen, dude?
there's still another juggler left, right?
Juggler or possible Consecration. That would be it, I think.
Yeah, because the weird thing here is like this would look exactly the same except the Dr. Boom would be on the board right about now.
Yeah, true.
Which is what obviously we had the eyes on.
But
on
you will
Tyrion
still
as well.
have the Lothar for upcoming turns.
Yeah, that's
which
what I
will
mean.
be
Like I like the fact that
important.
Dr. Boom could be here instead of Lothar, and you still have Lothar because Dr. Boom's still not on the board, and he does need to claw the damage.
Well, but
back.
he'll have less cards because he will not be able to battle rage at that specific point. And he was still looking maybe for a fast patron finish. That didn't come.
You don't need Patron finish when you have Dr. Boom.
Yeah, Dr. Boom's better than
Yeah,
Patrons.
Dr. Boom is just nuts.
Yeah, I just think it's like I don't know. It's a tough one.
Well,
Because
still,
the battle rage drew into cards that he's not really interested in anyway, because he had a lot of cards and answers in his hand regardless.
Well, still, he's still in a good position. He can easily get out of this 10 damage range. So what he needs to do is just clear this board. Maybe set up lethal for next turn if possible. I think you need to see what drops from Shredder first.
Yeah, I mean, can he even play Dr. Boom this turn?
I would like Whirlwind maybe and execute on the Shredder and then try attacking into whatever drops.
We see Cheeky Ape with the little comment Doomsayer one time.
We might actually see it. There are 2 Shredders on board, it's possible.
It's twice as possible than if there were one.
Dr. Boom into Whirlwind. Well, Powder has to decide fast because the time is running out.
Work.
And
okay, he just locked in the safe.
and if that's a Doomsayer, that would be quite fun. Oh, that's perfect!
Nice.
That's a 5 health bear. Or like heal 5 from your hero, kind of.
And the thing is as well already, Powder's been able to stack up enough armor to survive another couple of hits.
Redemption.
Tice even laughs. Tice is even like, just put out a little smile there, like, oh, okay, Secret Paladin.
You got this one. You got me.
Redemption hero power. You got this, dude. You will never die.
For justice.
Immortal dude.
And now the problem is there's only 2 charges of this Ashbringer left. That's going to be using 1. So Powder's suddenly just nowhere near getting killed.
With that taunt dead, can we say that Powder survived barely?
Oh, nice. First game today, Nims. That was good.
Right?
Nice and early. And now you just slam boom, right?
Yep.
Slam boom, hero power. Go.
No, there's no way you are not playing Boom here.
Yeah, you don't need to kill the 1/1, right?
There's
'Cause
nothing.
You're out of range of Blessing of Kings anyway.
Blessing of Kings, if that's competitive spirit, and then it's 12 attack. Is it? No, 11.
Yeah, so
you're
you're still out
good.
with
You're
hero
still good.
power, yeah. And then you just win next turn, I guess.
Yeah.
He's gonna man mode and just fire Warwick's face. All in.
Why would you need that?
I like armor up here. There's actually nothing you die to in the deck, unless there's some crazy, like Avenging Wrath or something.
But it is
And even then,
definitely-
Boom would soak up all the hits.
It is definitely nerve-wracking, right? Like in a moment where you don't know if Paladin has it. Like, is there Leroy? Like, you do think about all those crazy options that Thijs can put in his deck, especially because those are new decks.
Divine Favor into Leroy, Blessing of Might, Blessing of Might.
Suddenly.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
Doomsayer time. Nope.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's
Does
just
even
a
more
big toad.
damage.
Yeah.
It's a death rattle into a death rattle.
The frog with the cigar. Now it's a boot. I know.
Do you guys know do you guys know the flavor text of this card? It's actually hilarious.
No.
It deals 1 damage when it croaks.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's
Right?
pretty clever.
That's a good one. Okay, so this means that Powder is 2-1 versus Thijs, and Thijs is left with the Warlock? No, Warlock was Zoo.
Warrior.
Warrior.
The warrior. It might be a contra warrior
Yeah.
to counter the patron, but then we don't know what kind of warlock is Powder playing, so it might be either Zoo. Well, no, he would still queue up patron into the secret card.
Yeah, I think
right.
you
So
just-
it might be Zoo. It might be Rian Jackson Warlock. It might be even Malagos. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I'm not counting him.
Wait,
on that.
Malagos Warrior?
No, Malagos Warlock.
Oh, yeah, from Powder. Actually, Malagos Warlock is something that has been played in Swiss. We haven't seen it in the streamed matches, but this is a deck that was actually viable. And I think Arne was the one playing it. He was playing it in the Swiss. He was actually playing it here in the streamed matches as well, but he didn't need it because he won without using it even.
yeah, the flashy deck where
Yeah.
it's like, I've got it, but I don't need to play it.
I would like to see some Malilock today.
Yeah,
Hopefully
this
he
was
brought
a
it
really
again.
cool turn, by the way, with the girl. I really like this because
Yeah.
you're not really punished by anything. The worst things like Blessing of Kings and our minion survives, and you're like,
Or
yeah,
the silence, right?
yeah, true, yeah.
But it was a cool turn, and it almost managed to win single-handedly the game because he
Yeah.
cleaned up so much damage with that single unstable goal.
Yeah, and the Acolyte drawing 3 cards as well. You're very happy when Acolyte does that.
Yeah, man, I'm so curious. What is this Warrior deck? What he did? Thijs told me he brought something new. And what was he playing before? Like yesterday? Patron? I think Patron.
I think it was Patron.
Yeah. Or Druid. Was
No,
playing
he
Druid?
didn't. He didn't play Druid yesterday.
He didn't play
I think
Druid.
he played it on Swiss. I think. But which that was something I was going to come out on earlier as well. Like, kind of weird to see Thijs not bring Druid to a tournament
Yeah, that's true.
because he's one of the decks.
Sometimes happens.
Yeah, it's one of the decks he's just really known for. But maybe being too predictable and thinking that everyone's going to bring Druid, so everyone's prepped for it.
Well, you don't want to face that many Druid mirrors as well. Even though Thijs probably knows exactly how to play Druid mirrors. They are
Get
still-
those wild growths in.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. They are actually fun if both players get bad hands. And then you really have to think like when to trade and what to do.
Yeah, it's like a slow arena.
Yeah. It's
Play a
sometimes
minion a turn and hope.
instead of going into Secret Keeper and Secrets, you do a lot of trading.
Just
you know.
instead of Yetis, you have Pile to Shudders.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless you have a really good arena and you have Shredders anyway.
Yeah, I'm really not sad about the fact that we'll not see Pile to Shudders soon.
Yeah, I think it creates some like fun moments, but I think just the lack of other 4-drops being a thing is more frustrating to me.
Yeah, the only other 4-drops that are being played right now are in Paladin and Warlock if you play Void Color.
And Rogue
Basically.
with Tomb Pillager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it actually entered the game as well.
So there's 2 shield blocks and a bash. So
Slam Bash Contra Warrior?
yeah,
It looks like a Contra Warrior to me.
I hope it's the Elise control warrior. That'd be cool.
What about Fibonacci one with Tournament
Medics?
Medic?
With everything.
And
in it.
Deathwing,
It just
please.
runs everything.
Can we see Deathwing at least once?
Ooh.
That's a good card to start. Okay, so we decided and Thijs decided that this is a bad matchup for Patron. Because Contra Warrior, we've seen it before. Basically what they try to do, like first Powder doesn't know exactly that this is a Contra Warrior, but he probably assumes this is a Contra Warrior because Thijs didn't take it before.
Yep.
And now the matchup is good because Contra Warrior has a lot of tools to deal with the early aggression from the patrons, and then he has an amazing tool versus patrons in form of Brawl, and also Harrison Jones for the possible weapons.
Yeah, and also because it has the ability to get out of range, because there's no like crazy burst combos from Patron Warrior anymore. You can actually hit the point, especially if you get True Heart down. Speaking of which, you can get to the point where you have so much armor that it's not even like 2-turn lethal. Like you've got so many turns to be able to deal with the board, and we can see now it's even teched. So like Harrison's going to do some amazing work versus the Patron Warrior.
Yeah, but that doesn't look like good for Thijs right now. He wanted to play his Acolyte of Pain on turn 3, but the other Acolyte of Pain from the other side of the board is kind of messing up with his idea of how to approach this turn, right?
Yeah.
Lothar, can you take us through how do you win this match as patron? Like, what is the key thing you need to do?
To make it super simple, in one sentence, you want to play patrons as soon as possible and multiply them. And just hope your opponent doesn't have Brawl, because then you overwhelm him with the amount of bodies, and that's about it. But if that's not the case, then the other plan is just to go with the Floating Berserkers, deal insane amount of damage if your opponent doesn't have it execute. And as you can hear from what I'm saying is that you rely on the
your
warrior
opponent having bad
not
cards,
having
yeah.
you
Mostly,
rely
yeah.
on your opponent having bad opening hand.
Yeah,
So
like for example, as this board is built up now with the, you see the Frothing Berserker come down, the board starts getting to a point, especially if this Berserker survives one more turn, where there's a chance sometimes where you can force the Control Warrior to use a Brawl on a board that isn't Patrons, and then your Patrons are safer, but then that just relies on them not having removal to remove your non-Patron board down. So again, it really does rely on the Control Warrior sort of whiffing its draws.
Sometimes you can even catch Control Warrior with your Grommash in a rage maybe, or like even with one, just to deal the final amounts of damage. Because Grommash with even the Death Spite is basically 14 points of damage out of nowhere. So just pressure them. Standard.
Yeah.
Just deal as much damage as possible with the smaller minions and then put your bigger combos on board.
luckily for Thijs, he got the weapon to deal with the Floating Berserker, because without that weapon, it could have been bleak for him.
Yeah.
He had, was it possible to shield slam?
I don't think so, because he was on 30 health and no armor, I think, so... Well, he could shield slam, but it wouldn't. It would do just buff the Frothing Berserkers.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, thanks, bro.
Okay, execute Acolyte of Pain to deny the card draw, kill the Armor Smith, play Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Sludge Belcher lines up pretty well versus Shredder, right? So,
The problem is if your opponent has a way of clearing the Belcher, then you don't have a way to kill the Pulse Shredder's next turn, right? Because
it's fine, you just drop
Replay
another Belcher.
Yeah, just another Belcher.
then your opponent finds another way to kill the Belcher.
And then you drop Sylvanas. And you're like, I will have your Shredder then.
And
if it
Shredder
will
in the
never die.
meantime is like, yeah, I dealt 16 damage, it's fine.
I'm done my job today.
Yep.
I think it's really big though that that Powder doesn't actually have a weapon, or he doesn't have a Death Spite.
Yep.
So all this is doing is signifying to Thijs like, yep, I've not got Brawl, but you've not got Patrons. Like, oh, you've not got a good Patron turn.
So Thijs goes instead for the Sylvanas instead. And I like that too, because... Actually, do I like it?
Well, if he went for Sylvanas, both minions would get run into Sylvanas probably, and then he steals whatever comes out of the Shredder.
Yeah, he actually went for the Belcher.
Okay, I'm quite surprised.
Kept
then.
Execute. Well, the thing is with Execute, if you execute Acolyte of Pain, you might like Execute for Dr. Boom, Grommash. What else is there? Like a second big Frothing behind the taunt. So you might still find the Execute targets.
And this Shredder's gonna stay alive one more turn.
Yep.
It's unkillable.
Who's the pilot though? Is it the Doomsayer?
Probably. And it's gonna appear on a turn with full of Patrons.
1 damage to face. So much pressure.
Still, there's a piloted Shredder.
Is he weighing up? Attacking in a rage and then use the Shredder for face?
Yeah, actually that might be interesting. That's more damage, and you actually end up with 2 minions with more attack and a weapon as well. And you're the one that has the pressure.
Actually, is it better to enrage the Armor Smith?
Yeah,
attack?
absolutely.
Yeah, not enrage the
Permanently
one.
increase the attacks.
Yeah,
That's way better.
Yeah, but I like this. You just push as much as you can at this point. He doesn't have Patrons. Doesn't have anything really at this point. Just to go potentially drop a Berserker and push some more damage with the Cool Taskmaster next turn. So I like this. You just pressure down and hope you draw a Grom, I guess.
So this turn execute is like
No.
I don't know. It's like
Belcher
feels like the
again.
coin decreases in value because you could have used it to gain tempo, right, on turn 4 or 5, and it seems like Thijs is reluctant to use it. I would really love to see the coin used this turn, either to drop Sylvanas on board and just to have something like, you know, just threatening your opponent. Because if he trades, you get the drop from the Pulse Shredder. If you execute the Armor Smith, sounds bad, right? But that was an investment from the Patron Warrior just to play the Inner Rage on the Armor Smith, so it's like still 2 for 1.
Yeah.
So it's not that horrible, right?
Yeah, Sylvanas would be awkward. Like even if you get 10 damage to face and be at 9, Sylvanas can steal probably whatever you want because you have ways with the shield stun to kill your own Sylvanas afterwards.
I really feel like you need to play the execute just to get out the damage from your way.
Yeah, I
Because
think
if you don't execute this minion, your opponent will be like, yeah, I can just ignore this Sylvanas, I'll just go phase and just deal the damage.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And now in this situation, he might actually think about trading first, and then develop the board.
there's Grom though, so that's definitely interesting. So he can either Grom for 10 on turn 9, or Grom for 12 with the Cruel Taskmaster on turn 10. So I definitely think there's a point in trying to just set up as much damage as possible.
Yeah, so
What's he looking to draw into here?
Wait, what?
whatever. I mean, like, he cannot deal with Sylvanas really, and he doesn't want to give minion. And because he has the Grom,
I just thought he was going to Cruel Task onto the Shredder just to push more damage and then Grom Whirlwind next turn.
Oh.
The turn after.
yeah, like
that was
he,
interesting.
he cannot do it on the next turn, so he's like pushing with damage as much as possible. He knows he's losing the long game. Like, this is his window of opportunity to just win with the Grom Ash.
So there's a way to steal the Acolyte of Pain or the Shredder, because you can. It depends what Thijs wants to do. It's also an option to. There's also an option to just kill the weapon. No, that makes no sense. So it's better to just bash something, use double shield slams, and you either get the Palette Shredder or the Acolyte of Pain if you value the card draw for your opponent more.
Oh, you could Harrison and draw 2 cards.
I think like Bash, Armor Up, and Shield Slam is definitely fine. You're getting 5 armor and you're getting the Shredder. So
Now you use bash.
on the
Bash the
2-2.
2-2 and then Shield Slam you.
Yeah, Armor
you
Up,
Shield
Shield Slam,
Slam your
Sylvanas. That's pretty good. Like, you dismantle the board and you will have the Hearts and Jones for the next turn if needed. Or even just Eager True Heart for the next turn to get 4 armor and start slowly escape.
Yeah, I think you'll probably favor True Heart because True Heart gives him more armor than the weapon's going to attack with in the next turn anyway. And he doesn't particularly need card draw, as he, quite at the moment. I think he values the armor much more.
Well, Throttling Berserker and Sludge Belcher are pretty nice, free attack to face, and Powder just continuing to setting up that lethal with Grommash. If True Heart is being played, that will be what, 16, 18 health, and then Grommash Whirlwind is 30, and the weapon attack at 13. If this is a tough situation, like Thijs can just die next turn.
Well, he got the shield block, fortunately for him.
But then he'll have to play Belcher
No,
or destroy the weapon.
Belcher, Armor Up, Shield Slam, Throttling Berserker.
Yeah.
Because that's like super safe just to die to like some awkward whirlwind effects, and that's about it, right? You can attack even with the Palette Shredder into the Belcher this turn just to deal the damage and maybe get a taunt, maybe get a Lightwell.
Yeah, and also the other Belcher dies if it trades into your Belcher there, so
Yeah.
they might do the trade for you. So I like this play as well.
So now Grommash cannot connect to face because there will be a 1/2 sludge token.
I like that Thijs played first the Belcher.
Nice.
But I like how he played first the Belcher before dropping the Palette Shredder, because if that would be a Mana Wrath,
Yeah, done.
done.
Yeah.
You're like, uh-oh.
And
Yeah,
if there's a Doomsayer, you're fine, probably, because
Yeah.
you get the 1/2
Yeah.
at least.
And everyone really focuses on Doomsayer as it's probably like the most impactful card that can come out of it. But definitely cards like Mana Wrath you have to think about, because otherwise, like you said, you're just not playing the Belcher anymore, and that's blown your turn.
But this seems like a patron turn?
Do you want to risk it? I mean, you probably, when you're going so...
There are only 4 cards in hand, so...
I think Patron Whirlwind Ghoul is fine, because you still save a Whirlwind for Grom.
Just
Yeah.
want to provide that you need to keep that one whirlwind
Yeah.
for the Grom. Right?
Okay, makes sense. And this is a nice board overall.
Because also, to a certain extent, Brawl can still leave a Patron alive, potentially. And also, it removes his board on the other side, so these taunts go away as well. Or he trades them in. So then, he does have Grom as the push for some damage. He has nothing else yet. So if he draws like a Despite, then the Brawl might even just clear up the taunts for him.
Yeah, but this now really favors Thijs because
He
he
can
does
gain armor.
he can gain armor. Yeah, even though there are patrons and there will be more patrons in the upcoming turns, he can still draw cards with the shield blocks. He can respond to the weapon.
But the weapon doesn't really matter at this point. If Powder will play a weapon, he will just most likely win by straight damaging his opponent. So.
Well, actually, if he sets up Deathspite to have Whirlwind effect for Grommash, Harrison can can catch him off guard there. This would be quite nice. Executing one of the patrons.
I
seems
don't
good.
see a point. You need to keep that execute if you draw a brawl and you get a damaged minion after the brawl. Ooh. Well, you need to play that anyway.
Well, if you don't have the brawl yet, so it's probably easier to deal with 2 patrons on board than 4 patrons. So it's like this execute is basically dealing with 2 patrons at the same time.
Okay, good point.
Especially because there is no brawl in his hand and he doesn't have more draw possibilities.
I think a big point to that as well is with what's on board, he can't proc the ghoul that we can see.
Yeah.
So the ghoul won't die this turn, so there's a big chance that there's still only 1 patron next turn for Thijs to try and deal with.
Well, the patron can attack into a 1-1.
Oh, yeah, so sorry, 2. Sorry, 2.
Yeah.
2 versus 4.
Yeah, but overall, absolutely.
Do you invest in Grom this turn and just push for the damage?
You've just seen an execute,
But
so
if
maybe
your
why not?
If your opponent will top deck a brawl,
Yeah, you lose.
Well,
Or Grom wins the brawl, and then you just carry on hitting face.
You're still in a weird situation where this is so funny actually. One player like Thijs just absolutely got through the health total. He is at 30 plus, so he denied what Powder was doing in the beginning of the game. But Powder somehow found the patron turns where there is no brawl for Thijs. Oh man! And now with the battle rage.
well, do you want to risk it?
I guess. It is a lot of damage.
I want a death spy as well.
For next turn, I must have low tap. Low tap is pretty key.
Yeah. Did you think?
Attacking with the ghoul into True Heart.
Yeah, and then battle rage off that instead, and then leave Grom.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
I think though, like you mentioned, Lothar. Wow.
Okay, but there's a problem. But you can't really play around it. If the patron lives, it gets duplicated.
Because
Yeah, 'cause the
the
ghoul
Frau,
effect.
yeah.
So,
But if Grumage survives,
Then you big him hand.
yeah, so that would be pretty good. If Ghoul survives, you're also happy about that.
is it? Yeah, I was thinking if there's any reason you would BGH first.
No, the chances are still
there's-
the same.
Yeah. It doesn't really
Actually,
work any better.
do you really have to brawl this turn? Maybe you just BGH, armor up, and then you just allow your opponent, like this is 7 power on board only, and you're at 18, you will be at 22. So we just allow the patron stats back and
The
duplicate.
ghoul lives.
Yeah, well, this is obviously better if this is the outcome.
Grom, anyone?
Is it better? Because you would rather have a minion of your own on the board without the chance.
Oh
of
yeah, obviously, but then like the outcome was that patron could survive, right? But I also think
This is why. This is why you wanted the big game hunter on your own board to kill the Grom.
Yeah.
The best outcome was the Grom to live.
yeah, obviously, but then like I thought like maybe just leaving them alive for 1 turn would be fine as well.
So you play Lothep here, right?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's worth risking patron?
No,
'Cause
I don't think it's worth it.
I don't know how many weapons are left for the control warrior. Because if there's a weapon and he kills the ghoul,
What if it's there as a bash?
yeah, that's true.
Slam even like he's.
I think the
running
Lothep's
double
just
slam.
a safer play.
Oh,
here,
look
right?
at that! Yeah.
But this is devastating for Powder because it uses 2 whirlwind effects
Yeah.
now. But you can't really predict that. It's like
Yeah,
the low
yeah,
tip
it's
was a
tough,
better
yeah.
play this turn. I think so, at least.
Yeah. Well, but this means
You can
that
big game hunter that.
It was just tough.
Look at that.
oh man.
Tempo.
And now suddenly bored. And he has only a solider patron without whirlwind effects and armor smith.
Wow, what a game. It's like back and forth.
This matchup shouldn't be this close.
Yeah,
like,
it shouldn't
it's
be, but
ridiculous.
Thijs had a really bad opening hand.
Yeah.
He
Which
was
is what the
rescued
patron
by-
warrior needs to do to win.
Yeah, that was the whole point of the question that Nimsh asked me, right?
Yeah.
You take the advantage as being the patron warrior of your opponent having a really bad opening hand. But that's about it. For a second I thought that's the Powder with the deductible and I was like, oh.
And it's turned round again.
Yeah, but it only shows like how good this matchup is for Contra Warrior. Even with a bad opening, like the game seems close, but still, it's really not that close. Like right now, this is mostly over for Powder.
It could have been different for Powder if you played the patron instead of the low tip,
Yeah.
but it seemed so much better to play the low tip, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
He can wait no longer.
I was thinking of what actually is left in the deck. 'Cause he's seen 2 shield slams and a bash, right? So was there only a bash that punished the patron?
Second brawl.
Second brawl.
I'm sure
You're
that
gonna
Thijs
brawl
plays
a
second
ghoul
brawl.
and a patron.
Revenge, possibly, which is actually active as well.
Yeah.
So second ghoul. And for Thijs, what can he do? He can actually play the Dr. Boom first before popping the ghoul, right?
He can just pop the ghoul right now and kill the patrons and then play Dr. Boom.
Yeah, yeah. Just like,
There's always that.
you know.
Sure.
And it's like patron has no more tools. Dr. Boom is a possible card that he can get.
Yeah. Do we just see?
Yeah, there's no brawl.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, is there just a concede at this point?
Back
Yeah.
to 25.
2 versus 2 for now. It's a draw between those players, and the last game will decide: will Thijs advance or Powder will advance to the top 4 of the PGL Spring Tavern Tales?
Powder would really like to have the Zoo as the last deck, but if that's the Demon Reno lock, how does that matchup look like, Raven?
It's a real tough one. It's very similar to the to any sort of heavy control matchups, and it's all about getting the most out of your cards, like really utilizing the tools you've got. So Thijs will have to use his removal like just the right amount and not like overcommit. The second he does like a brawl on like a very mediocre board, it could be disastrous because then you already lose one of your big board clearing tools. And when there's so many big minions in Powder's Warlock, if that's the Warlock he's running, because he's running all the big demons and not the combo, then that could be disastrous if you let those things live.
Those moments. The opening was so funny, like both having Acolyte of Pain and just drawing cards because there were no early weapons.
It's like a gentleman's agreement. Should we just draw loads of cards and then play?
Just give ourselves a better chance and give the viewers a better show.
Yeah. And they're definitely doing it, 2-2. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to go down to the final game. I expect nothing less from these guys.
Yeah, this match is really cool to watch. Even though like they have been playing Secret Paladins, we did have those swing turns as well.
And that Shredder just didn't die like
Yeah.
for so long. He played for
actually
both
dealt
sides.
with 16 damage, I think.
Yeah,
Or
what
even
to
more.
both people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, Goblin technology is not that bad if you think about it.
It's slightly unreliable, but not bad.
Might be a bit random, but still. Okay, so Warrior versus the Warlock, and Powder, he did brought combo Reno lock for the first day. He wasn't super happy about it. He changed things up a bit, and he was playing the Demon Reno lock with Mal'Ganis and Infernal. So interesting choices there. I wonder if he mixed it up a lot, and everybody is expecting Powder to actually mix things up. Like he's the one who can change lineups, and it happened in the past. Like when Powder had a chance to change the lineup, he changed all the decks before.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It makes him very unpredictable. Because even if you predict he's going to change his lineup, well, there's always a chance he might not, and mind game that way. Or even though if he changes the whole lineup, then what's he bringing? It's really difficult. But yeah, I kind of hope this is the Demon lock, the Demon Reno lock from Powder, just because it's a cool deck, and to see that versus Control Warrior, although it might take a while, guys, it's going to be a really fun match.
That turn was quite interesting, but he was playing around Brawl there, so he had an opportunity to draw more cards with the Battle Rage.
Yeah,
but this was exactly
multiply patrons.
Yeah, if this is getting hit by Brawl and the patron survives, it's exactly as Lothar said, then Asebugu just procs and you have 2 patrons.
I mean, he was not playing around Brawl because he knew that there's no Brawl.
Yeah.
Because it would have been used the last turn.
Yeah, it was that previous turn that was I think had the most impact on the game.
Yeah.
The Lotheb versus the patron, because we can see that if the patron went down, there was very little he could, Thijs could actually deal with that. He just used Brawl, and the Ghoul was still on the board. So the Lotheb felt like the more steady play and the more reliable play. Patron being a bit more risky, but we can see that the patron actually would have paid off.
Well, with those 2 patrons, if you don't play around Brawl, you probably just do not keep Ghoul on board, and you just stack with the Ghoul into Justicar True Heart, you get more patrons, and then you Battle Rage after that. But if you keep 2 patrons and a stable Ghoul on board, and go with the Grommash, you play around a Brawl top deck possibly.
Yeah, you push for damage, and also you just rely on the Ghoul being a taunt, right?
Yeah,
and you've seen so much removal already, then if there's a weapon removal, well, it has to hit the Ghoul, and that's going to make the patrons for you. So, and on top of that, he had Grommash down. So
Yeah, but it seems like in the beginning, Powder was not in the A form. He was shaking his head a lot. He wasn't happy with his plays. He missed double noble sacrifice in the Paladin game as well.
Yeah, I think that was right at the end, right? And he went straight into this game. So.
Yeah.
But he basically upped his game right now.
Yeah, right now
at
he's
least
playing on point.
in this round, and the only thing that could have been done differently and probably would have won him the game was the low tap instead of the patron. Sorry, the patron instead of the low tap. But it was a really hard turn to take. It's like, should I play around the removals right now and just get steady damage on the board, or should I go for the really risky route with patron?
It's like high risk,
that
high
can be-
reward, right?
Yeah, and just get punished for it.
Yeah.
It's really dependent on what you want to achieve.
This looks like Reno.
Yeah, it looks like Reno, but we don't know which version yet. Is the combo version? Is the demon version? Those are cards that are in every Reno deck.
Yeah.
I guess the combo version is less powerful against the warlock. Against the warrior because it can just armor up, right?
Yeah, it's
The
kind of
out of range.
like playing a rogue versus warrior. So just you control hard and you then sit on 16 damage, warriors at 30 health, and you don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's like, oh, arcane golem face. Go. Yeah. So I was talking to Paddy yesterday, and he said he's played the demon variant the most. He likes it the most. So I'd be surprised if he didn't bring it again. Maybe expecting certain things from Thijs. I'm not sure.
It did work on day 2, and there is a lot of power because Reno Lock sometimes lacks the minions. The previous version had Stalag and Fugen, which was providing a lot of power on turn 5, and a passable Thaddeus that has to be dealt with. But then the combo version is mostly based on spells. And if you just are forced to play Arcane Golem to attack face or like to trade into a minion, it doesn't seem that good.
Well, the thing is as well, like the combo Reno has like a very specific win condition. Sometimes you can just win, you know, like, and that's just the way the game goes. But you are quite reliant on that combo in some way or another, even if it's not with Power Overwhelming, and it's just like, you know, a burst for 8 or something with Arcane Golem Faceless or something like that, or maybe a double power Overwhelming from a Peddler. So you're definitely heavily reliant on that, but as he taps, there's the Mal'Ganis, so that's very much looking like it's his Demon Reno lock from yesterday, which I like. I think is going to be much better in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like it will be similar to Handlock versus Warrior, where Handlock had an advantage because you have those big minions like Twilight Drake, you have Void Caller, you have Mal'Ganis, Jaraxxus. Jaraxxus itself just providing you with the steady flow of Infernals is also pretty nice.
Yeah, Jaraxxus is definitely a card that can win this matchup for the Warlock. If you can get it off safely though, because something we saw I think in the American prelims was there was a Jaraxxus that was played and which wasn't playing around because there was a Death Spite already in hand, wasn't playing around Grom. And like you definitely need to play the Jaraxxus when you know you can survive at least one turn, and then use the Infernals and then maybe some Taunt Givers to just really secure the board.
I'm quite surprised that Thijs would like to pick up the weapon right now. I know that he has 2 of them, but wouldn't you like just to develop the Belcher this turn and just kill the opponent minion with Shield Slam to conceal the fact that you have the weapon at all?
It's a tough one as well because you have to use the coin, right? And then your next turn doesn't feel too great either. So you turn 5 with 5 mana after you've played Belcher.
Yeah, I think I like it because you have a clear kill on the Twilight Drake, and then you have the coin for a possible turn 6 Shield Maiden into Shield Slam to gain a lot of tempo and stop Warlock.
It's going to be interesting though, whether he chooses to attack in or whether he could potentially drop Sylvanas on the board, or, you know, there's a few options there, because attacking in gives your opponent, you know, the additional token from the Gang boss as well.
Sylvanas is just too big of an MVP in this game to just throw it out
Yeah.
there.
It's an option, but definitely not the best one, I'd say.
Belcher is really nice here, and especially because you put the Gang boss on free health as well. So attack and then play Belcher.
Yeah. And you, like you said, you hold on to that coin.
Well, Shields Maiden needs to be played on turn 6. As you said, the coin, the Shield Slam. So the only options are got Belcher right now.
Yep. And already having Brawl versus this Demon Reno is actually really important.
I wonder if he plays 2 or 1.
Yeah, we only saw 1 last game, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And even that took a while. So
exactly.
Thijs is probably happy that this Brawl's in the deck, in his hand, should I say, quite early on, because I feel like it's going to be very useful.
All right, so from Powder's perspective, you just want to establish a board and keep pushing.
Yep. A very similar situation to the Patron game, when you just need to bank on your opponent not having removals, right?
Yep.
And you just push him for damage each single turn.
Or just even exhaust the removal, right? So like just play your minions and survive all the bashes and slams, and at some point Warrior might run out of cards and be like, we've seen that last game as well. Like, at some point Warrior has like 3 to 4 cards in hand, and that mostly like cards like Grommash, endgame cards, and you just continue with a steady flow of minions because you have the hero power, you have life tap, you can draw more cards than the Warrior.
Yeah, and that was a nice turn from Powder as well, using the Demon Wrath effectively as just 2 damage to the Belcher, because it just shows the knowledge of the matchup where, like, you're not going to pull off a big Demon Wrath versus Control Warrior, right?
Probably
like,
not. Even if there would be an armor smith on the board.
Yeah, exactly, and you're like, no! Heal for 10! It's like, yeah, so, yeah, that was really nice there. Just utilize it, and that's what this type of deck is about. Utilizing every card you've got in the best possible way.
Oh man, this turn is so awkward.
3, 6, 9 cards. Well, if you tap, you need to play a card, so I guess this is the tap and heal bot turn.
Yeah, because you'd sort of draw the weapon towards the heal bot there whilst guarding, you know, like low theb for next turn, while still cycling and keeping your health total pretty high as well. So I like that. There's just like no point playing low theb.
Yeah, obviously. You would love to play Lothar, but you cannot just throw it away.
Or if you've been watching the show match yesterday, maybe he's weighing up Siphon Soul his own minion to heal for that long fatigue game.
Peddler, can Peddler change things? Like if you get
Voidwalker.
Voidwalker would be nice. Dragon Egg?
I'm just looking at corruption.
I like Dragon Egg. Dragon Egg provides you with a 2-1. And it either protects the Peddler, it definitely protects the Peddler because you have to attack into Dragon Egg.
Ah, there's the second brawl, so not too much of a surprise, but just weird that we didn't see. We saw one brawl so late, and then we didn't see the second one at all in the last game. So it did go on for a while.
Thijs was quite unlucky for that he
Not
didn't
getting
get
the
the
brawl.
brawl
Yeah,
for
I
like
mean,
quite a time.
when you play that matchup as the patron, if you get patrons turn 5, you expect brawl next turn. You know, you just expect it because they normally run 2.
Absolutely. Is it Dr. Boom time this turn? You definitely do not cast Brawl on this board, like there's nothing in it and you kill it easily. If you get Dr. Boom after that, it seems fine. Like it's much stronger than Sylvanas or Shield Maiden in the moment.
Looks like so.
Yeah, I don't think you're expecting too much pressure, and depends what Thijs' call is actually on whether he thinks this is burst or not from Powder, because there's nothing that's really lent, because we've not seen Void Callers. The only demon we've seen is Gang Boss, which is standard in almost every single Warlock deck ever. Yep. So he's not seen anything to tell him either way, actually. So, you know, I think Boom is just a solid play here, but we might see him maybe play a bit more defensive until he sees these demons.
It's actually so scary, because you will never know which version of the Reno log it is before it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, if a Void Caller came out, you've got a pretty good idea, but we've not seen those yet. But yeah, if it was combo, then there's definitely a chance to... Like, imagine Emperor this turn. That would be so scary for Thijs. Yeah, it's just like, you could just die. Yeah, you could just die.
3. And another damage.
This is really nice, though. He has Reno in hand, so he's feeling pretty safe.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how much damage was it.
It's not like you're expecting Grom in a rage. And
exactly.
And even if you were, that's still not enough on 15, so...
This board. It's annoying.
This is kind of awful. I think you just have to Shield Maiden.
Shield Maiden, Shield Slam, D4 too.
Sure.
And again, the coin has such a low value.
Yeah. It's almost like, especially in Control Warrior as well, like there's not much you can squeeze out with one additional mana late in the game.
Yeah, but overall I think with the coin Warrior is that it's not about using your coin effectively, it's more about using your removal effectively. So like if you can use your coin to accelerate some removal card, great, but if you don't, it's like fine. Because it's all about like how much value you gain with the removal cards you're using.
Yeah. This is kind of awkward though. I think the Shield Slam has to come out because the problem is there's a lot of damage on the board, and you know, I understand holding on to removal for the big threats, but you know, you kind of need to deal with the board as well, because this is what 4, 5, 7 damage when you're on 18. Like you could just die with like a like PO or something from Peddler. Oh, hang on. I mean, I'm just looking at Mal'Ganis to bank in this damage.
Right.
Because if he steals it with Sylvanas, you have Siphon Soul.
Yeah, but you might not have room to do it still.
I don't know. Like, I just think like it's tough because how at this point and looking at his hand, like how's Mal'Ganis going to come out? on this game and have much of an
I would
impact.
not- I would
Oh, with a Void Caller. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I take it all back. If you can just tap into Void Caller and make me look silly, then that's all. Then that's also fine, guys.
What do you think about Shadow Flame this turn? Like even before the tap, I would like actually attacking with the imps into
I don't know, I just like
Sylvanas.
silence on the Sylvanas, kill it, and then play Void Caller. Or I don't think you can ignore it. Maybe.
I kind of like Shadow Flame on Big Imp Hunter and then Lothab as well. But it's probably fine. But on the other hand, like you have to clear this. If you don't clear it, actually, is there a chance to draw a Whirlwind and just win?
No, Lothab's down, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
this
you're
play
right, right,
because
yeah.
you've cleared off. You've reduced the draw from the Acolyte, but the 4/1's still alive and still representing 4 damage. So this is going to be really difficult. Actually, as Thijs is 1 mana off doing a brawl, which you'd actually be pretty okay with, even on 10 mana at this point.
The coin value.
That
wait.
coin oh, awkward.
She made it and Taskmaster into 4-1.
I think like it's like a necessity.
Yeah,
Probably
because everything else
you're
just isn't
aware
quite
that
good enough.
you won't kill your opponent. He will have Defense of Argus, he will have some Field
Yeah.
Protector or the Healbot or Jackson, or all 4.
Yeah, and also like if there was like a weapon equipped already, like a Deathbite second charge, then Powder's play would have been very different.
I like
previous turn anyway.
Mal'Ganis here is super good.
Yeah, yeah. So this is like similar to the previous turn that I suggested, where you just bank in the 3 imps, getting +2/+2.
Yeah.
Kind of cool as well. Like so, the 3/1 imp, like if Mal'Ganis dies, just becomes 1/1. So
Yeah,
it's not like
alive.
it dies or anything. So you're getting so much value, and even now Mal'Ganis is a bit of a problem because
And if you miss the brawl, if
hang on. So he gets 3.
Well, he can
so
slam
he can
first.
he can
Yeah.
bash.
Yeah, yeah, if-
he
even
can
if he
bash
loses
armor up
the-
shield slam.
exactly,
But you can
like,
slam first to see execute.
Yeah.
Then you still have the shield slam.
it might actually give you enough brawl value to brawl first. And if Mal'Ganis survives, unlucky, but you will just go for the slam, bash, shield slam. And if Mal'Ganis doesn't survive, you're great. There's just 1 imp.
Yeah, well, I think if you brawl, you can't kill Mal'Ganis, right?
Slam, bash, and shield slam, right?
Yes, that's too much mana. That's 6.
As they execute.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you can just slam into execute, that's always pretty reasonable as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is getting a little bit scary though, because what Powder's done pretty well here is not really represent enough onto the board to warrant a good brawl, other than the previous turn where he couldn't. Yeah, he still pressured the warrior quite heavily, and now I just wouldn't be surprised if we just saw like just Reno.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Maybe
you know,
just Reno.
You have
like-
to. I mean, like, the warrior just stacking your face is
Yeah.
setting an example that there might be Gromage, and you know that there's a lot of activators.
But like he could like Reno Argus, for example, but then I feel like you are moving into brawl a bit, because I think that is a brawlable board.
So you have to play around the brawl every single turn for the whole game. Because you know that your opponent, if you play, like, the longer you play, the bigger are chances that the brawl will show up, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's okay to play around it every turn, because look, this board needs answering. It's going to be awkward. So, but you're still pressuring the low health of the warrior. Next turn, if this board gets removed, he plays boom. And then the turn after that, he might draw into, we've still seen, there was is it a Dread Inferno?
Yeah, Dread Inferno.
So that, we saw one of those yesterday. So that's a 6/6 he has to deal with. He has Argus to buff, like, Void Caller Argus and things like that. So I like just the slow and steady attack, because the warrior's going to run out of actual single target
Is
removal. here.
Thijs even playing Alexstrasza in this deck? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Yeah, we haven't seen it, and he's playing a lot of, he's playing the slams and the bashes. Double shield slam, double shield
Yeah.
block. So
this means it's a real
double brawl.
problem. Because right now, a Warlock being at 30, like, your Gromage can be used as a removal card at best. Like, you can try keeping it as a card that will finish the game, but you have nothing to pressure.
And this is the issue where, like, Powder's managed to pressure, and, like, as you see now, there's 4 damage, and he has to use Grom, and then, probably just go see Siphon Soul on Grom, just because why not? Like, Siphon Soul Void Caller, maybe?
Exactly.
Because, sure. He could even, like, potentially just try and... Oh, no, it wouldn't work because he's on 5 health. I was thinking about some sort of funky Sylvanas play. But yeah, it's probably
Gromage.
just not worth it, right? Like,
Nah, I wouldn't do that. Well, it would be super fun if Reno Jackson would have free attack, and it would actually be better for Powder in this situation, just to still steal the 10-1 attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gromage.
But Powder is in a great position overall. Like, after clearing this board, being Powder, I would expect an armor up pass from Warrior next turn.
Yeah, and it's just not much he can do. And we've also seen for Thijs no True Heart, which means his hero power is having like such a low effect. It's doing half the amount it would if True Heart come down, which actually is making a big impact.
Yeah.
So these imps are actually doing work because they're doing like significant damage as opposed to just knocking off the armor every turn.
Exactly. Powder is not only Powder is not threatened at the moment, he is actually threatening Thijs.
Yeah, that's 6 damage a turn that you can't ignore. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna brawl this board. Like maybe
You might be forced to.
Yeah, maybe you have to because you know you've got a second one, but this is getting so rough. Like shield block, okay. But look at all the bombs Powder's still got in hand. He has Emperor, he has Sylvanas, he has Dr. Boom, even the Void Call if he draws another demon. This is looking pretty grim for Thijs.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, it's just Armorsmith not doing much and not having much, sitting on this double brawl. Powder knows there are brawls in hand. He was even nodding his head. He knows this is, yeah, I'm in command of this game. I feel great.
So now Void Call is okay, right? Because if there's a brawl, you get a 6/6.
Torison?
Yeah, I just like this because you don't get locked out by brawl anymore.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't hate actually killing this Armorsmith with the imps. Or like imp and a 2-1.
Yeah, I think because he's filling the board, he is going to trade the minions away. So then, again, the brawl doesn't look as crazy, although he might just have to.
Yeah.
You might have to, like, what, just shield slam first on the
Then
Void
brawl?
Caller, then brawl, and then hope?
Yeah.
Like,
Might be the case.
yeah.
Oh, man. Tough. And like even drawing the cards for Thijs is not that great because he will hit fatigue first.
Yeah, and just...
I think he's just reaching the potential threat of his deck at Gromash. Like the cap is Gromash,
Yeah.
and that's about it. So I don't think he even has any more threats in his deck.
Yeah,
that's possible.
And that's the problem, and because it's stacked up against this Demon Reno more specifically, if this was the combo Reno, then it just wouldn't be that much, it wouldn't be as much of a problem, but the Demons, I mean, look at his hand still, like I said. There's so much, like, just singular minions that are so powerful still in hand. Never mind, like, if this Void Caller gets shield slammed, the brawl happens, and the 2-1 Imp survives, he just plays Dr. Boom. Like... It's like, yeah, okay, now do that again. And then after Boom, he just plays Sylvanas. And after Sylvanas, he just brings out, like, whatever. Heal bot to do enough damage, like, who cares?
Absolutely. So, like, normally Thijs would actually rely on a fatigue game with the True Heart that he hasn't drawn yet. But Powder will be able to deal that damage and win fatigue because there are no threats and no ways to, like, even if he stops the board, he cannot stop it fully. The brawls are mostly dead.
It'd be really interesting to see whether I half think Emperor might be worth here, but I wouldn't mind if he didn't play anything and just play like the really
he
slow
doesn't
game.
have to really.
Yeah, but Emperor, if it dies, it doesn't matter because look what it's reduced, right?
Yeah.
So Emperor has a secondary effect. It's not like it's throwing Boom on this board and it gets brawled. Like Emperor does something right now, and look at the value of his hand. It's kind of crazy.
There is a True Heart. That's the A minion.
But this has to be brawling.
Yeah. And then just shield slam whatever survives. Or bash, depending on health. Or nothing, maybe. Oh, shield slam the 6/6.
It's like, whoops. Inferno shows up.
Yeah, I think it's just too much damage.
Yep.
And now Boom comes down, and then he brawls. And then
Sylvanas
carries on doing whatever
like
he wants, yeah.
Jirax at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, we've still not seen Draxus, so...
Yeah. Twisting Nether Imp. Yeah!
And the thing is as well, even if there's, like, another threat left in the deck, say there's Alexstrasza, he has, like, Sylvanas Shadow Flame now.
Yeah,
so
he can
it's
steal the
just-
threat. Zombie Chow! This is not your time, dude.
I can poke at armor. He'll be okay. As long as he gets that many attacks in that it warrants the +5 healing.
Well, it's...
Oh my god, are we calling Boom surviving?
Dr. Boom
No,
survives.
Ooh.
Ooh, he died.
What's the Boombot going to hit for? 2. Okay.
Quite fine.
Yeah, it's
For Thijs, there's a problem that the Harrison Jones has to be played before the Rexus hits the
Yeah, that's actually true.
yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to fatigue immediately.
Super
and
fatigue.
You
You'll just
practically
die.
kill
Yeah.
yourself.
Just die. You will not be able to
Oh,
play
look at
Jirax.
that.
speaking of which, I just don't think he needs to play it yet, though.
Well,
Maybe it's worth playing because Sylvanas can just get on an empty
I
board, just
think
gets
it's
dealt with.
worth playing because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so Gromash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know there's no more threats. And
How
you,
will your opponent kill you?
you do
Ice
deny
Howl,
yourself
Owl.
a pass.
over what, 3 turns?
You do
It
deny
should
the
count.
Molten Giants, unfortunately, for yourself.
I don't. Yeah, but you gain 6/6s every turn, so I think that's pretty okay. You play the Zombie Chow now. Just Come on, you can get 5 health.
You can even give it
let's
a
make this
taunt.
last longer.
Zombie Chow with the taunt.
Now
he not
you need
attacking?
the taunt for the 6-6.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
Not attacking
Because he
phase.
knows there's a Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's
he
actually
wants
nice
him to
play.
draw the cards.
Yeah.
That's such
And
a
that's
nice...
another interesting play that a lot of people wouldn't do, actually.
How many cards there was? 5?
5 cards, yes.
Yeah. So 3 damage fatigue would be 5, 6 damage, and then you fatigue yourself, so you take 4 again, 6 seconds damage.
So the Chow's effectively going to heal for 3. Just a guy comes down, gets double hero power, but I think at this point it's probably just going to be a matter of time as there's swiftly running out of ways to deal with these 6/6s that are going to come every single turn. And he still has a heal bot as well, so even if this Justicar attacks, you know, the heal bot's going to just negate that attack and then he can kill the Justicar anyway. So probably trading Justicar now is fine.
I don't think trading is actually okay.
Really?
Hellfire is better, yeah.
Yeah.
So Hellfire, get a 2/2 dude, and you have 4 more mana. Bran.
Yeah.
When do you play Sun Fury? I guess when you have 2 Infernos, right? Not
Sure.
attacking! Oh my god, this is such a great plan here.
He's
Now
just
you
doing the
can
maths.
now you can actually attack, I think. Because
Because you have the power on the board as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but there's the hero power, right? Tank up, so... But then like Thijs will not play this Harrison Jones if he has 8 durability.
maybe he plays Acidic Swampus.
It's like, you weren't expecting this.
I would not be that surprised if that's the Powder's last card.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. All of the weapons from Thijs were played, right? 2 Death Spites, because he had that in opening hand, 2 of
Oryxes.
2 Oryxes, yes, and basically that's it. So how does he plan to win this game?
Thijs?
Yep.
He hopes
Fatigue.
Jaraxxus will fatigue himself somehow. He's still getting some armor.
Ooh, the
Oh,
Belch is a
Belch is- yeah.
huge swing.
Well, he still has Sun Fury.
Just now what's good is he can pretty much ignore the 5/5. Does Powder need to start attacking now, I think?
I think
Because he's on the, you know, Thijs is on still quite a lot of health. He's not representing a lot of damage, but he's on quite a lot of health.
I think Powder is in a good shape because he has a heal as well. So, like, if Bran stays alive, Healbot can get him back to full. So he's not afraid of fatigue damage.
Yeah, but the problem is that by the time he hits that kind of fatigue, then he'll be fatiguing for so much anyway. But might get him one more turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is still looking pretty good for Powder, regardless of what fatigue looks like.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
that's
So is that
good?
Double BG? No, single BGH from Thijs.
So is the only hope for
Yes,
Thijs to maybe try to bash face at some critical point? Like, find this one moment? He used 1 bash already, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he did use 1 bash already, then that's not the Cursed Trials again. So
Bash face.
Bash face? Can it win?
it's 3 cards. I really have no idea what is left in the deck. 1 Execute, I think.
Yeah, I think he used only 1.
1 Execute and 1 Slam, I guess.
Might not even run 1 slam. He runs a lot of removal. I imagine we'll see like it's like 2 bash 1 slam versus like 2 slam and 2 bash.
Oh, if there's a second bash somehow? No. He used 1, right?
There's a 3rd bash.
A 3rd noble sacrifice? What?
Well, you need to play the Big Game Hunter to have anything on board, that's for sure.
Never Harrison Jones. Baby rage. Harrison Jones is like, I need to get the weapon to the museum! Allow me!
So I think you do play Healbot this turn, right? Because the dual effects, it doesn't heal for loads, but it heals and puts another body on the board.
Twisting Nether into a 6/6 dude.
But then you
Or just
can
stand up.
get 2 damage, next thing will be at 9.
You can still like, oh, okay, so he's just gonna go Sylvanas. I thought like Healbot Sun Fury was okay here.
3rd Brawl.
No!
Revenge! Is there revenge? Would revenge be good?
Oh, this is fine. Shadow Flame.
Thijs sitting on double revenge, but revenge is not even active because of Zombie Chow. He actually denied revenge.
It wasn't even activated when he was at
He was at
13.
Oh, he was at 13? Okay. Oh, it was active versus patrons. But it's actually cool to like be able to deny revenge. If your opponent is like, I got to 12, now I can start stacking up armor.
Priest, heal.
Yeah.
It's like Priest versus handlock in the old days. It's like, oh no, heal. You're not tapping. It's like, you're not playing those Molten. Stop it. Flash heal face without Alkanai down.
Oh man.
So one execute is there still if my memory is not, making tricks. But what's the other card? Whirlwind, Revenge, as you said. That's basically what it can be.
Arctic Rafam.
Unfortunately, that won't be helpful because
Deathwing? Deathwing would
King
be nice.
Mukla.
actually Deathwing would be
Oh my
awesome.
god.
The problem is Sylvanas, right? But
I think one of the secondary issues twisting Nether as well, but yeah, Deathwing will be sick. I think is there any reason to not heal bot this turn? Because there is still chance. What fatigue was that then for Powder? Was it 3?
3.
So
Fatigue.
so if you know there's one Bash still, yeah, he
there's
goes
the
for
other,
heal,
okay.
absolutely.
there's almost no reason not to, right?
Yeah.
Look at all the damage on the board. Like, you're fine. Go back up to full. Fatigue's much less of an issue, and you know the Warrior's got nothing.
And now Powder will not attack into the Warrior just to play around Revenge.
It makes sense.
So he has what, 12, 18? Yeah, because he has the damage to go even after Hero Power.
No.
Are we going to see
so bad.
Acolyte of Pain bash Acolyte to draw that one more card that wins the whole game? To draw
That all
Exodia.
depends what is the last card. I think it is Execute, right? So
Maybe Acolyte of Pain and then bash Sylvanas to steal Acolyte of Pain.
There's just a pause and
Take
be like,
it.
come on.
Take it!
Come on.
actually, yeah. Oh wait. What happened?
No, it's just bashed face.
6, 18, 20, 23, 28, and the 29.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough. So Powder on
What
the back
was
of
the
his
last
Demon
card?
Reno lock. Well, we will never know. We'll never know. We can
Quick.
ask Thijs.
Mortal Coil the Acolyte.
We can actually ask Thijs. But Powder is the winner, and he advances to top 4, eliminates Thijs from the tournament. Powder doubles the money, actually gets even more because it's 2,500.
Yep.
And he doubles the HCT points, which is again a bit more because he gets 5 instead.
Yeah. So
You were lying to us, Nimsh, basically. It's not double.
well,
It's
congrats to Powder.
Yeah, I mean-
it was a nail-biting finish between those two guys, right?
Yeah, fatigue match, even though it seemed like the Demon Reno lock has an advantage, but it still felt close overall.
Was it really that close? I mean, the Gyraxes just pushed it over the limit.
It wasn't, but it felt like it, right? Because we
Imagine-
didn't know what's in the deck.
Imagine if the Gyraxes would have been the last card, or it was pushed out from the Void Color, an example, right? That would
Yeah.
have changed a lot. In example.
Yeah, the last matchup was definitely good for Powder, but he had some bad matchups there in between. So Powder, congratulations.
Thank you.
Really well played.
Uh,
In the end.
in the end.
I
In the
suppose.
end.
Yeah, the first game was shaky with the Paladin, right? Against the Paladin.
Yeah, that was the second game. That was like in my mind, I just didn't see the secret, and then I just attacked, and I was like, "What just happened?" That was a pretty big mistake.
You were
but-
waking up in general.
Yeah. Well, like, I think actually the top deck Mysterious in the first game probably just won me the series. It's like
Yeah.
probably that was the only way I could win that game,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 2 outs out of like 16. I knew it right before, and I just see it come from the right side. I was like, yes, okay, I have a chance.
It's also
Yeah, without the Mr. Challenger looked very good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
That was a great turnaround because you were really behind and you were able to lock that Sea Giant and then go for that. What happened where you played Paladin versus Paladin and you attack with your Mysterious Challenger into Mysterious Challenger?
I mean, I was dead on board. So if I didn't kill the Mysterious Challenger, and like, I think the only out for me there was if he didn't have redemption.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking, and then I mean, he did have it. So
All right. And then you had a really cool game where he was, where Thijs was playing Control Warrior versus your patrons.
Yeah.
And a lot of cool stuff happened there.
yeah, I actually thought he was playing Patron when I went into it, but then it kind of just ended up like with the cards I drew, my strategy kind of became the strategy you kind of want against Control Warrior, where I just like pushed as much damage as I could, and then he top decked the Brawl, which was kind of unfortunate. I don't know if he had one in his hand, but
No, he
Uh,
didn't.
No, he
But
didn't.
he was playing 2 in his deck.
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was
I
like-
mean, I was kind of thinking it's gonna come pretty soon. That's kind of why I didn't. I wanted to leave the Unstable Ghoul alive, just so I would have the 50-50 where a patron survives and I would still get 2 patrons out.
Yeah.
But the brawls were kind of unfortunate for me,
So
both the last game and that game.
Yeah, and there was a turn in that Warrior Mirror as well where the girl survived as a 1-1.
Yeah.
And you chose to play the Lotheb over the sort of risking the
Yeah.
patron a little bit. The patron looks like it could have won you the game, but it was definitely the riskier play. Because if there's like a bash.
Yeah, there was one
then,
bash
like,
left, so I was
yeah,
just
exactly,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't know he played Harrison, and I knew he had one card for a long time in his hand, but I thought in my head, like, because I played the naked Fairy War Axe, like, I thought that was a pretty good Harrison turn. He would have gotten 2 cards, and then he didn't play it, so I don't know. I thought that was the way I would win more likely, I thought.
Yeah, makes sense. In the last game, you felt pretty confident coming into the last game? Demon Reno Log versus Contra Warrior?
Yeah, I mean, the Demon version is a lot better against Control Warrior, especially nowadays. Like, it used to be, like, if you played Ysera, it's always just super scary to play Jiraxis. But since you don't play Ysera anymore, and then he used his Grom pretty early, I was, like, super confident. As soon as I drew my Jiraxis, it was pretty game over, I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Draxus pushed it over to your side.
Yeah, and then, like, I just didn't want to attack with my weapon just because I knew he had Harrison.
Yeah.
And there's just, if he wants to Harrison, he's going to overdraw a lot, and then I'm just going to win anyways.
All right. And now we are in the top 4, so we don't know exactly who are you going to face next, but have you prepared for a whole top 8 or just Thijs?
A little bit of both. I thought I had a good idea of what Thijs was going to play, so I kind of suited my lineup a little bit against that, and then like I just wanted to bring like a third deck that beats everything, which was Paladin. So I think my lineup is pretty good against whatever someone brings.
Okay, feeling confident.
Yes.
Guys, any more questions to Powder?
I think we covered everything. Every single game.
Good.
Yep.
All right. So that was the first match of the day. Powder versus Thijs. Powder is obviously the winner and the first to advance to the top 4. We have many more matches for you today, at least 6 more, and we'll crown our champion. So stay tuned. We'll have more Hearthstone after a short break.